Amy, thank you so much for inviting me to your favourite bar, 9 Below, St. Stephen's Green, Dublin.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for having me on Barstool Chat.
No, it's great. It's really wonderful. And I have to tell you, this does not look like any Stephen's Green bar I've been ever at.
Yeah.
So I'm in a dungeon. It feels like a dungeon. It's very groovy.
Yeah.
Why are we here and why is it your favorite?
So yeah, we kind of discovered this bar, my friends and I, a few years ago. My friend's brother is actually the manager. So that's he kind of introduced us to it. It's a very much a hidden gem. Like not a lot of people know about it. I'd say it only seats about 50 people. It's just such a nice bar, and like we go there for celebrating birthdays, just for chill drinks. I'm pretty sure they change up their menu with the seasons, depending on what ingredients are in season, things like that.
Where is it?
It's kind of up towards Grafton Street. It used to be an old wine cellar for the Hibernian Club, which I think is like kind of like a members club. So yeah, it's a really nice place.
How wonderful is that? Because honest to God, it's only 20 years ago when women weren't allowed in the Hibernia Club.
I know, it's crazy.
There you are down below drinking.
Exactly.
Alcohol.
Look at us now.
Look at you now. Imagine that. So we're here. We're on that stool there. The door opens and dead or alive, who's standing there? Would you go, yes, I want to have a chat with that person? Who is that person?
So interesting question. I mean, I kind of had a thought thinking about this. I'd say it would have to be my great granddad. So he was a really interesting man. He lived to be 103 years old. So he passed away when I was like a child. So I probably would like to meet him in there, learn a little bit about his life. He was a professor of mathematics and physics in Trinity. He was, I think, what they call a fellow in Trinity. So yeah, I think he would like being in Stephen's Green bar just around the corner. He was also on the team for the people who split the atom first in Ireland. He was just a very smart man. He was very into his red wine. So I think he would like, the history of 9 Below, that it was an old wine cellar.
So let's work that out. Your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Let's try and work out when was he born, or have you already worked it out? It would be early 18, famine-ish time.
I think it could have been like, maybe like 1904 or something like that. I'm going to get it wrong, so I don't even want to actually guess.
Right. It's quite unusual though, and it's extraordinary to think that you at one stage had a grandfather and a great grandfather and a father.
Yeah, I know. Well, so yeah, so he was my dad's mom's dad. Very lucky to have met him anyway. He was a very interesting man. So obviously, as I was saying, he split the atom and everything like that. And then when he finished working, when he retired, he actually started writing books to help teach kids how to read phonetically. And then he kind of evolved on from that and started teaching. He wrote books for inmates in prisons, and he'd go around and teach them how to read, which I thought was really nice. So yeah, he did a few interesting things.
It's great to hear those stories, because a couple of things. It is definitely, and that's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like a vocation. You're born to be a teacher.
Absolutely,
you don't need a title, and you often don't need to have all the accreditations that go with it. You're just a teacher, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is that you sometimes feel when you're in the world in 2022 that everything has just been invented. Purpose has just been invented. Educating people has just been invented. When it's always been there, it just maybe hasn't been as popular, or it's harder. And to one point, to be even more proud of your great grandfather is the fact that it wasn't splitting the atom in Ireland for the first time, but the first atom ever split in the world was in Trinity College.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that I remember learning that in school. It got me into trouble, actually. I'll tell you why it got me into trouble. Because the teacher asked a million years ago, so where was the atomic bomb invented? and I put my hand up and I said, by the splitting of the atom in Trinity College, and I was chucked out of the room. But actually, there you go.
It's
proven
crazy.
right. So your great granddad, we'd all love to talk to him, actually.
I think
because
so.
I reckon at a time when people used to probably had an average age of 50 or 60, he lived double that. Wow.
I know. I'm hoping I have his genes, you know.
There you go. Or brains and beauty. Well, those two you have. So it's just the longevity that we're questioning, right?
Yeah. He was very into his, you know, like he studied dietitian as well, and he'd be hitting the gym age 90. He's one of those. So I think that's how he got to live so long. So we can all take a page out of that book.
Oh, I think so. So your granddad has gone off for a week, and you're looking at your phone and you're going, if I was to lose every app on this phone but 3, what would they be? What are
it's a really easy question, to be honest, for me, because I have so many apps on my phone that are just taking up storage and I don't even need them there. And the main 3 that I use probably every single day would have to be, first of all, my WhatsApp. Right. I think everyone uses WhatsApp. It keeps us all connected. Like say during COVID, my dad lives in the States, so he couldn't come home when there was our lockdowns. So every day we were doing video calls on WhatsApp. Right. It's definitely one that I use every day. Second one would be, I'd say, my Spotify, because I listen to music everywhere I'm going. AirPods are in. The gym, for my walks. You know, we all started doing our 10K steps during COVID, so I was just bombing around everywhere with a few podcasts in. So yeah, I've started listening to a few podcasts recently. Do you listen to The Daily?
No.
It's a really good one. By the New York Times, and then there's a funny one that I like listening to. It's called My Therapist Ghosted Me. It's actually it's an Irish podcast, so you know, Irish humor. Can't get it anywhere else really.
No.
Yeah, and then I also, obviously not to be bringing in work, but I love the started listening to what's it called? Inside Data Centers. It's a guy, and he's keeping us up to date with everything in the industry. Yeah. And then my third app, it would be my TikTok. I know you're going to say, what? Why is she saying TikTok? But do you know what? I think people have a misconception that TikTok is actually just for, like, you know, all the teenagers, they're doing little dances, but the app has really evolved in recent months, especially during COVID. And I love it I love to cook. So I love watching cooking videos and getting some inspiration on that. And yeah, I think it's a great place for young people to like show off their creativity. You know, you see different artists on it, fashion bloggers, chefs, things like that. So yeah, they would be.
Don't ever worry about things like old fogies and detractors and people like me taken away from a platform, because ultimately it's like looking at a guitar. It's easy. It looks easy to play, and yet go and play it. You know, so ultimately what it is it's fit for purpose for a generation that don't engage that much with other platforms for whatever reason. So they're great apps. Actually, I do connect 100% with you on the Spotify over the lockdown and over all this period. That is my number one. And it's because of the ability to link other genres and link other musicians that you've forgotten about.
I know, yeah.
Or if you like this, a modern, like Post Malone, you might like this, and it could be Stevie Wonder. And so,
I love that they create the app. They create playlists for you. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So listen, one final quick question. Did they have any TVs in 9 Below?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Well, okay, let's say that there's a DJ and he's after saying, okay, here are the lottery winner numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Amy jumps up and says, I won £1 million.
Amazing. Yeah.
So what are you doing with it?
What am I doing with $1 million? So, I mean, if it's for me, are we talking about for me personally, or are we talking about?
You have just won a private lottery for £1 million and it's yours.
Oh God. I mean, you'd have to invest it into something important, I think, is what I would do.
Though? The definition of important.
There's so many things. There's so many things, but I say being topical at the moment. I think what's happening at the moment, obviously in the Ukraine, it's really highlighting, Ireland's dependency on Russian oil. So I would say what I would do is I'd probably invest money in alternative energy sources, like your wind, your solar, offshore, things like that. I think that's probably what I do. I probably keep a little bit for myself too.
Of course, got to put a bit of oxygen in your own. You got to put some oxygen in your own lungs before you looked after the kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
So here we go, Amy. We've had a bit of a whistle stop 10 odd minutes. It's been short, sharp, and interesting. Thank you so much for bringing me to a place that I've known for 50 years but never knew had a bar.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on the
breaking off the chains of the old Hibernia Club. Which was, as you went up, I was only there once, and on the top floor, if you made it to the top floor, there was 2 snooker tables, and you could only drink brandy.
Oh, I'll have to sneak up sometime.
You should. I know it's one of those places where it had a windy stairs, and those old sort of Charles Dickens type pictures of the men with the big sideburns and stuff.
Yeah, very old fashioned. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But that's, I guess we've all evolved. Hopefully we realize that we're making mistakes now that people in the future will say, imagine.
I know, yeah. I think they opened it up, I think, a few years ago to the public. I know it was a very hush thing before that. So yeah, it's interesting.
So there we go. We've had a chat. You've been great. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thanks so much. Chat to you soon.